First episode. We first meet Lee Mi-jean in the first episode of Miss Day and Night. She is a prospective civil servant who studies into the wee hours of the night in order to ace her tests. Despite continuously receiving top grades on written tests, she frequently fails interviews, which is commonly attributed to her advanced age. She returns home to her family after her seventh failed interview, and they are happy for her because of an error involving another candidate who was chosen with the same name. Heartbroken by her circumstances, Mi-jean runs across a man who gave her his business card and says he can assist with her choices through a recommendation process. When she hands him her bank book and the documents, someone else steps in and exposes the man as a con artist. The con man is eventually apprehended as he flees for his life, the stranger pursuing him, and Mi-jean yelling, "Give me my money." When Mi-jean gets to the police station, the stranger helps her. It comes to light that Mi-jean paid the con artist with her family's emergency finances and is unable to retrieve the money back right away because it was transferred to a burner account. The investigator warns her that if this ends up being connected to a phishing case, the victim can become the perpetrator in a heartbeat, as she goes on to reveal that she gave the man her bank book. And that's how she ends up in two different problems. In another scene, we learn that the stranger is actually Guy Ji-young, a meticulous prosecutor, who discovers that while assisting Mi-jean, their files were switched, and now he has her resume rather than his case file. When he phones Mi-jean, she thinks he's just another con artist and blesses him with clever curses before banning his number. Once at home, Mi-jean finds a seemingly miraculous cat and comments, "You look just like this cat I know," while also giving it some milk. Make sure you pick a wealthy owner who gets paid well and feeds you delicious organic food, rather than a broke job seeker like myself. After that, she returns to her room, burns all of her study materials, and drinks till she passes out while thinking back on the time she lost cramming for the test and then finding herself unemployed and broke. The magical cat falls down a well as she is drinking, and Mi-jean follows to save it. Time pauses, then turns back around. Mi-jean awakens the following day in the body of a 50-year-old lady. She is chased out of the house by her family, who clearly do not recognize her, while the police arrest her and the elderly woman continues to pretend to be Mi-jean. They come to the conclusion that she is mentally ill, and Mi-jean makes her get away with the cop after behind. The sun falls and she goes back to her own body, trying to hide from him. When she gets home, she surmises that her abrupt change could have been caused by the sun. Despite her best attempts, she changes again the following day and locks herself in to avoid being pursued through the streets. She slips outside and goes to the vet's office where she had fled when the cat fell into the well, believing the animal has something to do with the ridiculous circumstances. However, she discovers that the cat has fled when she gets there. In the meantime, a room featuring a poster of Lim's son, a missing person, is visited by the enchanted feline. The following day, as Ji-young defends himself against the well-known Ko-won, we learn that he becomes a grumpy, acerbic perfectionist while performing his duties. In the meantime, Mi-jean makes unsuccessful attempts to break the spell placed on her by going to a shaman and a plastic surgery clinic. At this point, she finds a public service announcement for the elderly and applies. She shows up for the interview, passing and even beyond expectations because of her youthful vigor. While Ji-young is transferred to her town to investigate a missing person case, she at last secures employment. The episode review. Although Miss Day and Night's first episode is a bit cliched and has a stale premise, it's still early enough to speculate about how the series will develop. Even though the manufacturing quality is poor and nothing special, it still manages to catch our attention. Mi-jean is a classic damsel in distress, a fairy godmother turned cat who meets and befriends a successful man who saves her. There is still hope for the best because a seasoned actor is portraying Mi-jean's daily persona, Lim Sunday. We're excited to see more of Choi Jin